Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. In the last video, we have seen the concept of async and await concept, and we have seen that how can we use async and await with the asynchronous calls. So whenever there is a asynchronous step in your async function, we have to use await concept there, right? So today we will see the practical example, and we will try to fetch some data with the help of API. So this is an API that we are having it. If you call these APIs, you can just simply go to request res.n single user also or multiple user also and single user not found. So any API, let's see, for example, I'm calling this endpoint, and this endpoint is giving me, let's see, some result here. And this is giving me a JSON. So this is a asynchronous step, right? This is not a synchronous step because we have to wait until I get the complete response from the API, and then only I have to proceed further. So what we will do, we will call this API with the help of fetch module in Node with the help of fetch method, and we will wait or we will apply the await concept there. And once the response is coming, then only we will parse the response, right? So let's see how to do this. So I've created this fetch API.js file. And what I'll do in this particular module that I'm going to create one function here. So let's create the function name that I'm giving. Let's see, a fetch user information. And this is a normal arrow function that I have created here, right? So I'm not writing async right now, but let's see what exactly I'm going to do. That I'm going to use this fetch method here. See, this is the fetch method, which is coming from the node. And then you can write the URL here or any URL that you want to hit. So let's say I'm going to hit this URL, give me the users from page number 2 with the query parameter here. So this fetch will return what? This fetch actually saying that give me the URL, and it will return, you can see, a promise in the response. So by default, it's giving me the promise. So now this will be what? A asynchronous step for me. So I'm going to store some response here like this. So this step I have to wait. So for this step, I have to write await here. And we know that await I cannot write without the async function. So this is a normal anonymous or arrow function that I have created without any name. So we can write async keyword here. Now the error is gone. That we have already discussed in the last session also, that async, if you are using it, and then inside the async, you can use await. But if you're using await now, async is mandatory to write here. So here before these two brackets or before the arrow function or before the anonymous function, you have to write async keyword. Now, what we will do, we will check the status code here, that if the response that you have captured dot status also, you can maintain that it will give you some number, or okay also you can use that, right? So response dot okay, which is a kind of a boolean value, that is status 200 or okay, something like this. And if it is not okay, then I did not get the response. So I simple throw the error here, that throw new error with a message, that the message that I'm going to write, that data user data not found, something like this, if the response code is not okay. That's why I'm using not here. If the user is available or data is available, then I really want to parse the JSON response. So what I do, parse the JSON response that you are getting it. So from this response, I'm going to use one method. This is a JSON method. You can see it's a method, and then you simple apply on the body dot JSON. You can apply it here. So response is the body, and then I have applied the JSON, and then I'm going to store it in a specific variable. So let's say I'm going to write, this is the data, the user data that I have captured, right? And once the data we have captured, I want to do something. For example, let's see, I want to print it on the console. So in the log that I want to print it, let's print the user data here. Let's give a nice name. Let's see, this is my user data, and the same name that I'm using it here for the logging also here. Perfect. And that's it. So I'm not doing any fancy thing, and that's the only thing that I'm writing it. Now I really want to call this particular function. So let's call the function. So how will you call it? The function name is what? This is the function expression name that we have given, that method user info, and I'm calling this particular function from here. So let's run it and let's see how exactly it is working. Are we really getting the right output or not here, right? So let's open the terminal And in the terminal, I'm just simply write node and let's fetch api.js file that I'm going to execute that. So here, if you see here is that I'm getting promise is still pending. Which promise is pending? It's not giving me the right information, but some promises is still in the pending state. So maybe we are getting the response from here, which is fine. And what I'll do, the response, whatever the response that I'm capturing it, I can print it here also. But if you notice one thing, that response.json, this is also a kind of async step because it's doing some processing and parsing the JSON, right? Parsing the JSON response here, and then it's taking some time. So for this step also, we have to write an await here. You can just mouse over on the JSON and then it's saying that I'm going to return a promise. Can you see? So whenever you see a method is returning a promise, you have to write await here. So this is also async step, I would say, right? This is also one async, right? So now let's see. First, it is gonna wait for the data is available. Response is okay, fine, okay. So it will not go inside the if condition. It will come back here. I mean, it will come here and then it will gonna wait. It's gonna wait for parsing the JSON, store it in the user data, and then print it on the console. So now let's run it again. Now we are getting the exact data. You can see it here in the form of JSON here. You can see all the users we are getting. The exact same response we are getting it here also. Page 2, page 6. Here you can see it here as well that here's exactly same thing there. Michael, Lindsay, and Tobias. We are getting the same thing. Michael, Lindsay, Tobias. Right. So this is what? This is a asynchronous programming and we are waiting for the response from the fetch. Now I'll do one thing that I'm going to remove this async from here. I'm going to remove this await from here. I'm going to remove this await from here also. I'm not using any async and await. This is just a simple function that I'm calling it and then I'm using it. And I'm not going to wait for that. This is not asynchronous programming. This is like without any async and await. Okay. So let's see this. Are we really getting the data or not? See, it says that, okay, first of all, the throw new error user data not found here. Why? Because immediately the response will be checked over here. Why? Because it's not gonna wait for the fetch is to be completed because fetch is, let's see, taking around 2 or 3 seconds. It's not gonna wait for that. So immediately the response, whatever the blank response is available, it's not okay. So this condition is this okay will give you what? This okay will give you false. This not will make it true. Immediately it will print this message that user data not found. Although user data is available. So that's why the asynchronous programming and async and await concept is very important here. So now you got it that what is the use and importance of async and await concept so that we can hold or the halt the step. The asynchronous step to be completed, then only I want to proceed further. Now you must be asking thinking that okay, then what about the error? If any error or something like this, you can use throw new error also, or overall, let's see, while using this, also some error is coming. So overall try catch exception also you can write it here. So what I can do here that this entire block that I can write it inside a try catch block. Let's see up to this here. This is the try is get, and then below that I can write one catch also, and then catch I'm writing any error here, and then if you really want to print the error, console.log error and error, you can print it here. So while fetching this information, if any kind of error, it will be logged here, right? So let's run this program once again. So I'll go to terminal, although data is available. Now we have applied once again async and await also. So we should be able to get the data properly without any problem. So let's run it. Okay, so node fetch api.js. Yes, we are getting the data. Perfect. So now I'll do one thing and deliberately try to make it fail here. So let's see, I'm writing instead of API, I'm writing Naveen here. I'm changing the endpoint because we have written everything inside the try catch. So here you see that, okay, yeah, it's giving me, first of all, response, okay, user data not found. And then I'm getting the complete stack trace also that fetch the user info and we are getting some error here as well while fetching the data. So let me do one thing. Let me just comment it out. This one, let's see, is it really coming to the catch or not like this? So now it's giving me the parsing error that, okay, yeah, the response that we have captured and I could not parse it because I did not get the proper response here. And then I'm getting error over here like this. Okay. So see the JSON error, syntax error that we are getting it here. Perfect. So anyway, so try catch block, you can use it for the proper error handling as well here. So let me just uncomment this. So I hope you understood that what is the use of async and await. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next video with some other examples also. Till then, take care and God bless you all.